This is ethanol-free gas, making the new Saber mix 100-to-1 ratio we're going to use in our Stihl MS261 saw. Now normally the saw runs at 50-to-1, but the Saber oil mixes at 100-to-1, and it says right on the back it's good to use in your Stihl chainsaws or equipment. So we've got a full gallon in here now. Shake it up a little bit. So here we are, we got some free roadside firewood. You can see they've been doing some trimming along the road. And they cut a big tree down here. I thought this would be good firewood, but then once we got closer to the tree, I could see that's a pine tree. So we're gonna leave that one here for now. There's another one just up the road. We're gonna see what that one is, and then we'll see if it's worth cutting up for firewood. So where those trees have been cut down for the roadside clearing is actually at our cemetery. This limb's been here, and you'd think I could just pull it down, but it's actually wedged pretty tight into the Y of that tree. So we're just gonna cut it up in chunks. We'll let the Y do the holding of it while I cut it up.
Looks like a tornado went through. And honestly, I just don't understand the rhyme or reason. Like these trees that they cut here are way farther back than, not that one, but those ones right there. I just don't understand.
Nice maple here. We'll see if we can get it cut, roll it down the hill. Jennifer can stop it from rolling out onto the road. Good?
Are you not rolling it?
I didn't know if anybody's coming.
That did not feel as easy as what we anticipated.
Especially not with a bad foot.
Lucky I don't have a bad foot now.
Free firewood.
Like
roadside cleanup.
Like playing hockey with no protection on and shoes that my toes are already sticking out of.
Yep. Some of those are pretty heavy.
No kidding.
How are we going to get them in the truck?
That's what I like to call NMP.
Uh-huh.
I'd like it to be my problem, but I don't think I can help you with it today.
Yeah, I can get it. I'm going to roll the tonneau cover back.
Really though, while I was watching you cut and looking down the road, to me, it really makes me feel like when tornadoes have come through.
Yeah, just cleared a swath.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's get loading. Pretty decent amount of weight on that load. That maple is a heavy hardwood. Actually, when I was pulling out of the cemetery driveway yesterday, I should have taken my hitch out because I caught the bottom ball on the roadway pulling out. Just scuffed it. We're using the Splitfire 3465 today. Some people wonder, how do I choose which Splitfire log splitter to use? Well, these logs are pretty heavy. I want the heavier log lift and the taller machine. Using ethanol-free gas out of my favorite gas can. I mentioned this in a previous video. I'll put the Amazon link to this if you're interested. My favorite all-time gas can. First start of the summer. So we started this video last night. It was Friday night after work. Today is Saturday. You can see I'm all set up here to split this wood that we could get in the truck. We actually loaded the big truck. That was all the more I wanted to put in it because I've got the hitch and the generator and all the camping supplies in there. So I only put 2 rows of wood in the back. I also was a little bit worried about the electrical connection in the back of that truck, which was one of my favorite features of the truck. So I put a couple boards against it and a piece of wood to keep that plastic electrical connection from getting busted up by the firewood. I'm all set up here today to split. Last night when we were at the location, the roadside free firewood from them clearing the sides of the road, we didn't have a chance to talk very much because we were right on a major highway. There was a pretty steep bank where I was cutting the maple up and then keeping it from rolling down, and then we watched for traffic and I would roll it down over the bank to Jennifer. She would use a long stick or her body to stop it from rolling out on the road. So we mostly were just trying to get done what we needed to get done last night. Today we're going to split that wood and we'll talk about the free roadside wood. Here you can see I used a thick cookie and a piece of wood to protect that RV plug connection inside the bed of the truck. Now in my old truck, we'd just stack wood up everywhere and not worried about it. In the new truck, I do worry about that plug. I worry about these lights. I worry about those hanger points. So I was a little bit more cautious when loading this big heavy firewood into the back of the truck. So we've got 4 big rounds in the back of the truck. Here's the load we have on the side-by-side. So we're going to take a break, splitting, take this up into the woods and stack it into our firewood stack. We also have 3 or 4 big rounds in the back of the little truck because after we filled this up, we took the little truck up and got a couple more. There's still 2 rounds up there that we already cut up on the free roadside firewood. So pretty good haul of firewood in just after work hours on a Friday night. And we were wondering, like, how do they choose which ones to take down? And they were right about this one. It actually had what I call heart disease. The center of it had some bad spots, which I'll show you on the rounds, and it was starting to rot from the inside out. So they were right to take this down because it probably would have ended up crossing the road at some point when it fell over.
But we think this ended up being huge limbs on that big tree that it was beside, and not actually a tree once you got it cut up.
Yep, so we originally thought this was a tree that they had cut down, and we never found a stump. So now we're thinking it's actually the limb of a much larger maple tree that was just going to be bad and fall on the road. So right here you can see what I'm talking about. The black usually means there was something metal in the tree at that point, so I don't know if maybe there was a nail or staple or something in the tree in the center, and that's what started the rotting process. It's still, at least this limb had, you know, a good amount outside that. It still grew for a good number of years, but it was going to start rotting, like you can see there, from the center outward.
Get going. I'm gonna try to run beside us.
See all the apples up there?
Oh yeah.
This one I don't think has any apples. Yeah.
And this is the first wood you've cut in 2024?
First maple. It's the first wood I've split all summer. We use our summertime for camping and boating.
You always crack me up with your wood stacking.
Why?
I don't know, I can't describe it.
It never looks like much when you start stacking it on a long skid, but that was one load from the back of the side-by-side. Okay, now it's time to switch supply truck from the big truck to the little truck. You want to bring it over?
Okay.
3 rounds to go in the back of the Ranger. I've made several videos that I'll link to about the many reasons I like the split fire design. One of which is you can choose the size of the wood as you split it. That's really an advantage. So, you know, I can choose exactly where that blade's going through the wood to make each split. The other nice thing is, look at all the more waste there is here. Look at some other splitter types, especially something like a box wedge, and even a four-way wedge makes a lot of this chaff, or whatever you call this, waste off of the wood. Since we're aiming at a specific point in the log, we don't get nearly as much waste wood on the ground after splitting as some other types of splitters.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but you did 15 big rounds, and that's all the more that needs cleaned up.
Yep. Now there were some pieces on the splitter that I just tossed into the bed as we were doing it, but if you watch some other channels where people do a lot of splitting with other types of splitters, they usually have a lot more waste underneath.
And I'm really glad that you chose the taller one and the heavier duty one today.
Yeah. So that was a good Friday evening roadside free firewood activity. We got quite a bit of really nice maple here that we'll be able to burn probably next winter. The split fire did a great job as always, and I always hear people talk about the future of YouTube. I believe that YouTube will continue to grow and grow and grow. What I hope doesn't happen is smell-o-vision, because once that technology comes, we might lose subscribers. It's about 83 degrees right now, and I'm a little sweaty after splitting that wood.
They don't need to know how sweaty you are.
So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up down below. Leave those comments on if you guys have ever found roadside wood after a cleanup session like they're doing along the major highway in front of our house and along the cemetery. And we'd appreciate hearing what type of wood you've gathered from that and how much money you've saved by not having to buy wood. Now, fortunately, we live in the woods. We don't ever, well, we bought firewood a couple times when we ran out during COVID. But other than that, we haven't bought firewood before. So the other thing that makes you sad, you mentioned about the roadside cleanup, is it used to be when you drive down this major highway, there was almost a canopy over top looking down through, and now it looks more like a tornado swath. So that is the bad side. The good side is when you pull out to the end of a driveway and look right and left, you have much more visibility up and down the roadway.
And I think our project the last 2 days is a good example of the blue collar part of your life. That, you know, we knew that the wood was there. You know, we could have done something else on a Friday evening, but we figured the tree was already down. It was just going to lay there and rot, so we might as well put the time and the effort in to do it, because we'll use it.
So I spent until 5 o'clock on a Friday sitting at a desk, typing on my computer, running a mouse, and then in the evening running a chainsaw, and this morning running a log splitter, stacking up some firewood. Thanks for watching us here on Purple Collar Life. Hopefully we'll see you again the next time. Good?
Are you not rolling it?
I didn't know if anybody's coming.